Marketing is jazz because you've got to improvise. You've got to sense what's going on. It needs speed. And you know, some of you are going to make mistakes. People will forgive you. And here to talk to us about speed in marketing is David Meerman Scott. Go for it.
Thank you very much, Peter. It's fantastic to be here. I'm going to tell a number of stories today. The first story is about a company called Eloqua. And Joe Payne, who's the CEO of Eloqua, looked at his mobile device one evening, and he noticed, oh my gosh, my biggest competitor was just acquired by Oracle, by this giant software company. And the news just hit. So what he did was he did a Google search for the name Oracle and Market to Lead. Market to Lead was the company that was acquired. And he found one thing on Google, and it was this 3-sentence announcement made from Oracle. And it basically said, we have acquired Market to Lead, and you will like it. Yeah. I don't know what you think of, but I think of a North Korean-style announcement when I see this 3 sentences from Oracle. Now, what happened here? This big announcement happened that there's a marketing automation space acquisition. Oracle, this giant company, made an acquisition, and they didn't say anything about it. And they left completely open the opportunity for somebody to define what this means for the market. So Joe Payne, the CEO of the competitor, knew he had a terrific opportunity, and what he did was say, aha, I know what I can do about this. So he acted fast, and he lived loud. What he did was he wrote a real-time blog post. He put it out within 2 hours of the Oracle acquisition on the Eloqua blog. And the title of the blog post was Oracle Joins the Party. And it talks about how fantastic this acquisition is for the entire marketing automation software business. It's fantastic that this big company sees this market space as an important enough market space to have an acquisition. Now, can you see what's happening here? What's happening is the company that made the acquisition, Oracle, chose not to talk about what it means to the market, leaving open the opportunity for the CEO of the competitor to do that. Now, as the news stories started to come out, the reporters had 2 things to look at. They had the 3-sentence North Korean announcement to look at, or they had this fantastic blog post written by the CEO of the competitor. And you can imagine what happened, right? Here's the Bloomberg Businessweek story, quoting Joe Payne, the CEO of the competitor. Here's the Customer Think, which is important blog, the same thing, quoting the CEO of the competitor. Here's PC World, same thing is happening. Now get the picture here, right? Can you imagine how pissed off Oracle must be as this is happening? Because the competition is in every story. Here's Information World, the same thing is happening. And then they got really, really clever. What they did was they then emailed a link to this blog post to every single person in the Eloqua database that was tagged as an existing customer of the company that was acquired. And they linked them back to the blog post. Now, remarkably, Oracle was living in the old world of slow, of I'll tell you when I'm good and ready. They were living in the old world of the symphony. And Eloqua, meanwhile, was playing jazz. And Eloqua then pushed this out fast. And the customers of Market to Lead learned about it through Joe's blog post. And as a result, they had something to share on social media. And 3 weeks later, they sold $1 million worth of new business as a result of one blog post. They lived fast, they lived loud, and because of it, they made $1 million from one blog post. Speed and agility is a decisive competitive advantage. Speed and agility in today's market can lead to $1 million from one blog post. By the way, the punchline of this story, which I find actually kind of funny, is a year later, Oracle also bought Eloqua. So hey, if you can't beat them, join them, right? If your company is really big and slow, hire by buying the people who can live fast and live loud. How about this? Last year's Super Bowl, it cost $3.7 million to advertise on the Super Bowl. And in what now is a well-known example of living fast, living loud, our friends at Oreo tweeted during the blackout of the Super Bowl, and what they said was, power out, no problem. You can still dunk in the dark, and they sent through this incredible photograph. This took 4 minutes to do. 4 minutes. They had a creative team waiting for something to happen at the Super Bowl. They instantly did it. You know what? If they had waited even a few more minutes, even if they waited 20 more minutes, this wouldn't have happened. It was the fact that they did it instantly. That's why it worked. And then they got written up in all of these publications. I actually counted 3,480 mainstream media stories that talked about this. Now, I used to be in public relations. And I'm thinking to myself, how long would it take me to generate 3,480 mainstream media stories, magazines, radio, television, and newspapers? I mean, I think that would take me like 10 years, unless you're Dave Carroll. Maybe you could do it in a day. But that's taking forever, right? They did it with one tweet of an image. That's the opportunity that you have. You're going to see this orange slide pop up frequently. That's because this is so true. You can achieve a similar result. Everybody in here can achieve a similar result to this. You need to act fast, you need to live loud, you need to get out there and make it happen. You need to play jazz, not a symphony. It's about real time. But the biggest barrier I see when I talk to people all over the world about these ideas is the 4-letter word that begins with F. And it's not the other 4-letter word that begins with F. You might know of another one in the English language. No, it's fear. It's fear. People say, oh, I can't do that, and they have an excuse for why they can't do that. The whole reason that this is possible is because of the instant engagement that we can all have right now. I used to work on a bond trading desk. My first job after I got out of university was on a bond trading desk in New York City. And the bond desk looked like this, although the technology was a generation before this. And the whole thing on a bond desk is about instant communications, isn't it? Can I have the sound, please, on my video? It's about instant communications. It's about real time. It's about right now. If you're a bond trader, you trade off of the news that's happening right now. If you're a bond trader, you look at what's going on in the markets and you trade off of prices. And if you have something, even an instant before somebody else, you have an opportunity to make money, even millions of dollars on that one thing. Like this guy right here. He has the potential to make money because he knows something before everybody else. That's what's happening to all of us. It's not just the bond markets. It's everything. When you even have a little bit of an edge, or you're able to act a little bit faster, you have the potential, like Joe Payne at Eloqua, to make $1 million. You have the potential, like Oreo, to make just as much attention for your business as those people who paid $3.7 million for a Super Bowl ad. But here's the problem. The problem is that people are still living in the past, and they're doing marketing campaigns. Can I have the lights up, please? What they're doing is they're going and rooting around in their database, getting the data, and they're creating campaigns. Note the war metaphor. They're creating an email campaign for next week. They're creating an advertising campaign for next month. They're doing something for the future. That's what almost all marketers do. They plan for the future. But what they're completely doing is forgetting about right now. This instant. What's happening right this moment? Today, on Wednesday, at 10:37. What's happening right now and today? That's what's important. So as soon as I finish this, I'm going to tweet a couple of photos. Can everyone who wants to be in the photo raise your hand? Yeah, I'll tweet this with the hashtag later. I'm going to try to get everybody. 1, try to get over here. 2, and now I'm going to go and try to get the front. Everybody raise your hand. It's going to be hard to get this picture. I'll do my best. People forget about right now. So what are you doing to engage your marketplace right now? What I'm doing is running around a stage to engage my marketplace. It's about instant communications. It's about right now. And the tools that we have for instant communications are just as powerful as the tools in a professional Wall Street bond trading desk. Imagine that. My iPhone is just as powerful as those things I had on my desk when I worked on a bond trading desk. And it's not about just the tools. It's not about that. It's about your mindset. How can you develop a real-time mindset so that you can communicate instantly at precisely the right time, at precisely the time that the moment is right? So here's a cool example. This is a company called Ocean Frontiers. They're in the Grand Cayman Islands, and what they do is they run a dive resort. And Ocean Frontiers acts fast. They live loud. It's all about instant engagement. This is their real-time blog, and they're constantly posting images of the wildlife that they see at the resort. The reason this is interesting is because then people share it, and by definition, they're talking about Ocean Frontiers. They have a real-time reef cam. That's a video camera that goes around like this, a lot slower than I'm turning. Very slowly it turns, actually. And it takes pictures of what's underneath the water in front of the resort. So what people do is they then tweet it or Facebook it. And this fishy says, "Look at my pearly whites." Somebody said that. Katie said that. So now people are in their office, and they're looking at a reef cam thinking, "Oh my gosh, I wish I was at Ocean Frontiers. I wish I wasn't here at work." Then they did something really interesting. They gamified their marketing. And what they did was they created 55 individual dive sites. This is a map of the eastern side of Grand Cayman Island, and each one of the red dots is a dive site. Now, in real time, as soon as you finish diving one of those sites, they give you a point for that particular dive site. And when you've finished all of the dive sites, all 55, they throw you a party both at the resort and on Facebook. And they give you champagne, they give you a free t-shirt, they give you some shorts, they give you a medal, and they throw a party, they have cake, and then guess what? Everybody shares it on Facebook in real time, right? Look where I am. Look what I just did. So I wanted to dive. I had never dove before. I wanted to take my daughter to learn how to scuba dive this year. And I was looking on Facebook, and my friend was talking about ocean frontiers. I said, maybe I should check these guys out. I've never heard of them before. And I did. And when I checked them out, I found out that Scuba Diver magazine rated them the top dive resort in the Caribbean because people talk about it so much. So I decided this is the place I have to go. There's me and my daughter, Allison, and we went and got our scuba diving certification here. They act fast, they live loud, and as a result, they're the #1 resort. As a result, they're constantly booked. They're doing fantastic. This is my favorite quote of all. And by the way, my Twitter ID is DMScott, DMSCOTT. The hashtag we're using is hashtag PZ2013, PZ2013. This is something that a lot of people tweet. On the web, you are what you publish. So if you're publishing great information, like Oreo, like Ocean Frontiers dive site, like Eloqua, then on the web you're great. If you're publishing nothing on the web, then on the web you're nothing. And if you're publishing bad information, like Oracle did, then on the web you're bad. On the web you are what you publish. Here's an interesting example of real-time customer support. This is Vodafone Egypt. I presented in Cairo 3 weeks ago, and I learned about the cool things that Vodafone Egypt are doing. And they instantly engage with their customers in whatever form they want, whether it's on Twitter or whether it's on Facebook, whatever they want. So they have 335,000 followers on Twitter. It's a phone company. How the heck does a phone company get that many followers? Well, they engage really well. They've got 4.4 million likes on Facebook. That's a crazy number for a phone company. Again, the reason is because people know they can get service on Facebook. On the web, you are what you publish. Here's their Instagram feed. Vodafone Egypt, great. On the web, they're publishing great stuff. Which brings me to a really, really important point, and that is this. To be successful with this kind of real-time communications, you have to be human. You have to be engaging with people on a human basis. And there's a number of different components to that. I'm going to share several of those components. The first component is that if you are in a business-to-business environment, a B2B environment, it doesn't mean you have to be boring. I've seen almost every B2B company, they say, oh my God, I'm going to be marketing to businesses, so that means I have to be boring. I mean, they don't say it that way, but that's what happens. No, you don't have to be boring. In fact, everyone else is boring. So if you're running a B2B company, why don't you be interesting? Why don't you use humor? Why don't you do things that are fun? And here's an example of that. This is from Cisco. And they have something called TechWise TV. And it's information you can use from geeks you can trust, which I love. And they have a series of real-time videos that they run on holidays. I'd like to share with you now the video that they ran on Valentine's Day. Here we go.
How many ways can a man tell his sweetheart, I love you? Until now, the answer was 3. He could buy her expensive diamonds. He could take her on a tropical vacation. Or he could carve his initials into a tree, then carve a heart, and then carve her initials. But now, he can give her the ultimate expression of his everlasting affection. The Cisco ASR 9000. Because nothing says forever like up to 6.4 terabits per second. Nothing says commitment like up to 400 Gbps per slot. And nothing says I love you like 6 times the mobile backhaul capacity. How many ways can a man say I love you? The answer is 4. The Cisco
So most people say to me, but David, I'm marketing a $250,000 router. It's a gray box about this big. It's the most boring product on the planet. It moves data from here to there. I can't do what you're talking about. And I say, well, look at Cisco. That's their boring $250,000 product. They're a B2B company. Guess what? 202,000 views on their YouTube video last time I saw it. And the media loves this stuff. Here's Network World talking about their video. Here's even the New York Times talking about this Cisco video. So yes, you can, if you're human, if you realize that B2B is not B2B as in business to business, it's business to people. It's people to people. It's the idea that if you treat people like humans and realize that everyone likes a little bit of humor, for example, you can succeed. Here's something else that so many organizations do. They use what I call gobbledygook in the way that they communicate, text-based information. So let me just read this to you. Company X provides business integration software to integrate, assemble, and optimize available IT assets to drive business process productivity. Company X delivers an innovative enterprise-class business integration platform that incorporates proven integration technology with next-generation capabilities into one interoperable set of tools that delivers a unique combination of efficiency, agility, and control. I apologize to the interpreters. You know what? I'm a native English speaker. I don't know what it means either. This idea of this crazy gobbledygook language. I got so fascinated with gobbledygook that I did an analysis of it. I wanted to find out what are the most overused words and phrases. Can anyone guess what number one is? The number one, shout it out, anybody? I think I heard it over here. The number one most overused word and or phrase in the English language is innovate or innovation. Count how many times you see that in a given day. The problem is if everyone is using the word innovation or innovate, it has no meaning anymore because everyone's using it. I love number 3, unique means one in the world. Yet 48,095 companies used it in their press releases in the year that I did an analysis. Which brings me to another question. I always love when I have a group of marketers in the room because you guys might be able to tell me, who the hell are these people? Who are these happy, multicultural people that live on our websites and live in our brochures and our advertising? I mean, who are these people with really, really good hair and even better teeth that we put into our messages and our advertising? And who are these happy multicultural people that are staring into computer screens? And here's another question. Do you think that this person has ever had a stethoscope in her ear before? I mean, I bet you last week she was modeling for an underwear ad. And here she is pretending to be a nurse. And I have another question. Does she really work for your company? I mean, be honest. Does she really work for your company? No, this is stock photography. I want you to be human and get rid of stock photography. People are smart. We know this is not you. We know this is not your customers. So try your best, please, to get rid of this inane visual gobbledygook, because that's all this is. It's visual gobbledygook. I was talking to my friend Tim, who works at IBM, and I said, Tim, hey, the same guy who's on your website is also on Constant Contact's homepage. What's that all about? I mean, isn't that crazy? It's insane what people do. So I say, please, please, say no to stock photography. Okay, now, I just want to go on record as saying that Istanbul was robbed. Absolutely robbed. I predicted and I wanted you to win. I wanted the 2020 Olympics to be here so badly. I even did an analysis of the websites of the 2020 Olympic game finalists, and I predicted Istanbul will win. Why? Need I say more? This is what I said on my blog is the world's worst website. Tokyo 2020 is terrible as a website. Why the hell did they win? I have no idea. Istanbul was robbed. This is their website. This is their vision. It says, discover tomorrow. Let me read this for you. Tokyo 2020 will bring together dynamic innovation. Oh, there's that word again. And global inspiration. It will unite the power of the games with the unique, oh, there's that word again, values of the Japanese people and the excitement of a city that sets global trends. It will be a unique celebration that will help reinforce and renew the Olympic values for the new generation and will contribute more to young people worldwide, sharing the dreams, hopes, and benefits of sport. Does anyone have any idea what that means? I don't know why they won. On the web, you are what you publish. Istanbul should have won. By the way, my wife is Japanese. I lived in Tokyo for 7 years, so I'm allowed to say all this. Let's talk about newsjacking. My favorite idea of all when it comes to real-time communications is what I call newsjacking. Newsjacking is the art of injecting your ideas into a breaking news story. News stories always break like this. It's like a bell-shaped curve. And your job is to inject your news as the news is breaking so that you can become part of the story. So the new iPhone was launched a couple of months ago. How about acting fast and living loud? Here's Nokia UK. They pushed out this picture, and it was retweeted 29,000 times, reaching millions and millions of people. Imitation is the best form of flattery. If you follow the news in real time and do what Golan Harris does, they have real-time news centers around the world. By the way, this looks a lot like a bond trading desk. Remember the picture of the bond trading desk I showed before? This looks just like it. This is your news desk. This is how you create this real-time communications. Here's TIO Business Insurance. They're out of Australia. And they followed the news, and they learned that President Obama was going to be visiting Australia. And they said, aha, we have an opportunity because everyone's going to be writing stories about President Obama visiting Australia. So what they did was the moment that President Obama's foot, see if I can do this, hit the soil, the tarmac, they sent a blog post giving President Obama free crocodile attack insurance. So if he was eaten by a crocodile, Michelle Obama would get $50,000 as an insurance payout. Fantastic, right? Now every reporter has to write about Obama visiting, and now they have something else to talk about. Now they can talk about the fact that President Obama is insured against crocodile attack. 4,969 mainstream media stories. No question in my mind, every one of you can do the same thing. And when you do succeed, let me know, because I am always looking for new examples for my presentation. Remember the Chilean miners when they came out of their hole? They had been underground for 69 days. Do you remember all the photographs? They were wearing Oakley sunglasses. A smart marketer at Oakley said, wow, these guys are going to need eye protection when they come out of the hole. They're going to need eye protection because their eyes have not used to the bright sunlight in Chile. They sent 33 pairs of sunglasses worth $180 retail value each down to Chile, put them down in the hole, and as they came up, each one of the miners was wearing the sunglasses. As a result of that, somebody calculated that the benefit was $41 million if they had spent that amount of money to reach 1 billion people by advertising. $41 million just by acting fast and living loud. I counted 119,000 Google references to this. Then they have something to share on social. Then they have something to share on their Twitter. They have something to share on their Facebook. By the way, 1.1 million fans. There is no question. Every single one of you can achieve a similar success. Your challenge is to stop making excuses. Your challenge is to act fast and live loud. My name is David Meerman Scott, and this has been Real Time Marketing. Thanks very much. Thank you.